Joining us now on the TSN MMA show, it'll be the two headliners for the card in Winnipeg, which will air live on CTV2 and RDS, as well as on Fox in the U.S. on Saturday, December the 16th. It's Robbie Lawler and Rafael dos Anjos, two former champions. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good.
Doing great.
Great to have you both. You know, this is obviously a great fight. Two former champions looking to become a champion once more. So tell us, how did this fight come together? I'll start with you, Rafael.
Yeah, man, it's a great opportunity, to have a title shot at 170, and I'm a former lightweight champion. It will be huge for me and for become two division champion, but of course my focus 100% is at Robbie on December 16th. But I know something bigger will come, and I make sure I'm ready for December 16th.
So Robbie, why was Rafael an attractive opponent to you?
The UFC just kind of put some stuff together. Wanted a big fight to headline this card, and that's the opponent they put in front of me.
I mean, let's face it, I'm guessing any opponent is an attractive opponent to you.
Yeah, I just feel like I focus on myself and try to get better, and if I'm at my best, I feel like I can beat anybody.
You know, one guy who called you out recently, Robbie, is actually on the card with you, Mike Perry. Is he on your radar, or were you looking for a fight against the guy that's a top 5 opponent?
No, I don't really pay much attention to that kind of stuff. I just focus on myself and see what the UFC says.
Well, Rafael, you recently said you wanted this to be an interim championship fight. Robbie, do you agree that it should be one?
I don't really pay much attention to those kinds of things. The task at hand is just a 5-round fight, December 16th, and we're headlining a card, and I'm going to go out there and do my best.
So, Rafael, you did post that on social media. You got a little bit of pushback from some people. Why did you think this should be an interim title fight?
Yeah, the reason that I posted that was, two former champion fighting for, on the welterweight. The reason, but since Dana White said that the winner will be the next challenger, I don't pay much attention for the the interim belt anymore. But because the interim belt, you have the guarantee that you're gonna fight for the title next, and I compete to be the best. I compete to have title, and I think once we have a interim belt on the line, that would be the guarantee that we're gonna fight for the title next. But since Dana White said that the winner gonna fight for the title, I'm okay with that.
You know, a lot of people are against the interim belts, and even Tyron Woodley seemed offended at the idea that there would be an interim belt. But to me, an interim belt gives you more to add to your resume. So if you end up winning this fight, you're now a 2-division champion. You get paid more money for your next fight as an interim champion. I don't see what the downside is of having an interim championship, but like you said, it's almost like a promise ring. It's a guarantee.
Yeah, that's why I was pushing for it, and but now we know that the winner gonna fight for the title, and I'm okay with that. And Tyron Woodley, he'll be out for a while, and he fought last July and has an injury in his shoulder. And I don't think he probably gonna be 10, 12 months out. But on the end of the day, I'm fighting Lawler on December 16th, and looking forward for that show. It will be a great fight for the fans, for me, and the winner gonna fight for the title.
I always like seeing Robbie in these settings. Robbie was here at TSN sitting next to Rory MacDonald before what was inevitably one of the greatest fights ever. Meanwhile, in our building, Connor's chasing Jose Aldo around, causing all kinds of chaos. And, Robbie and Rory are just hanging out on the couch chatting. Is it easy for you to do this sort of thing? You're sitting next to a guy who's going to try to badly hurt you in less than 2 months, Robbie.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to me. If something happens, I'm always ready to fight, but I'm just low-key, professional, and December 16th, that's when I'm going to let everything fly.
With Rory recently, he accused you of using performance-enhancing drugs during your fight with him. Did it disappoint you to hear him think that?
No, I think he's just kind of trying to figure out why things happen the way they happen, and he's finding a different way to cope with it.
Well, it was odd. His rationale was that, you kept pushing forward, you kept coming at him. It didn't seem like you were getting hurt, but that seems like most of your fights.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting hurt. Obviously, I got stunned by a head kick, and he cut my lip with an elbow. So, but all you have in the end is your will to fight.
So, Rafael, a couple of weeks ago, I had Colby Covington on the show. It was before this fight was announced. He essentially accused you of trying to take an easy path to a title shot. Now, I'm guessing with this fight with Robbie, that'll quiet those kind of accusations?
Man, I have to, fight, get the best fights for me and guys that are ahead of me. I think this new generation, they trying to get fights because they talk crap. They attack others on social media. And I'm glad to have this fight with Robbie because there is no trash talk. That's a man's fight, and that's how I like to do.
Yeah, this is one of those fights that kind of sells itself. I don't think you guys need to talk much trash to one another. You just pull up some old videos.
Yeah, sure. We show our talk on the octagon when we get locked on the cage. That's we talk with our fist.
As you mentioned, the winner of this fight is going to take on Tyron Woodley. He says he's the best welterweight of all time. Do you think that's disrespectful to GSP? Do you think that Tyron is in the conversation for being the best welterweight ever?
Yeah, man, he's a champion right now, and but I think Tyron, he thinks nobody can touch him, and I think I think GSP did a lot, he defended his title a lot of times, and I've been the champion before, and to get there is really hard, but it's even harder to keep the title, and when you have the target in your back, everybody wanna take your spot and but it is what it is. Tyron is a good champion, great champion, but he just think nobody can touch him.
What are your thoughts on that, Robbie?
I don't really have any thoughts on that. That's for the fans and the media to talk about.
So GSP's back in a couple weeks. He's taking on Bisping at UFC 217. Robbie, what do you think happens in that fight? Do you think GSP can overcome a bit of a size disadvantage?
I'm not sure what's going to happen in that fight. Hopefully, it's a good performance for Madison Square Garden in New York and the UFC, and hopefully the fans are excited by it.
And Rafael, what's your take on it?
Yeah, man, I've been putting some work with Michael. We've been training together, and he looks great, looks strong, fast, and it'll be a good fight. I have Michael.
Where have you been training for this camp? Or do you plan on training for this camp, Rafael?
Yeah, I've been going to Ruka, training with Coach Jason Perillo, and working my jiu-jitsu with the same guys. My jiu-jitsu coach, Felipe de la Monica, Gracie Barra headquarters, and have my Muay Thai coach Eduardo Pamplona, Bubba Jenkins on wrestling. So I have good guys around me putting a lot of work.
So, Rafael, you've been very successful at welterweight so far. Despite being a champion at lightweight, do you wish you had done this years ago, made the move to welterweight?
No, man. I did what I had to do, and I got the belt, the lightweight, but, I was thinking about move up a couple times, Me and Robbie, we were the champion at the same time. This fight was the fight that I was looking for, even for like super fight, champions against champions. But, things happen. We lost our titles. Now we're here fighting for, and for the chance for the title at welterweight. But, I'm excited for it.
So, Rafael, this is an opportunity I imagine you couldn't pass up. You were hoping to take a little bit of time off after we spoke at the UFC 215. You had mentioned you were thinking of taking some time off and hoping for the next title shot, but this fight came to you and it's something you jumped at?
Yeah, sure, man. I took some time off. I, had some, Europe trip with my family for 2 weeks, had a good time, and I got back Sunday night, and Monday morning, I got a call, one of our Lawler, I say, of course, I'm on it.
So you're based in California, Rafael. You're based in Florida, Robbie. What's the coldest weather you've ever experienced?
I've been to Canada when it's in Montreal when it was pretty cold, but I'm from the Midwest, from Iowa, so it's decently cold there. But obviously, the further north you go, the colder it is.
And Rafael, you're also from Brazil, so you're used to these hot climates.
Yeah, sure. But cold is something that I enjoy. I always go to the mountains. I like to spend some time on the mountains too, and when it's snowing too.
Well, if you enjoy cold weather, you're going to love being in Winnipeg in December, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know. I heard about.
Tickets are on sale this Friday, October the 20th. Available on Ticketmaster. It's Lawler versus Dos Anjos. It'll air in Canada on CTV2 and RDS for our French-speaking audience, and air on Fox following a football game in the U.S. This is one of the